Now let's talk about something that is even more granular. You're getting closer to the nitty-gritty of your life and changing you. So what this is called a virtues book. Now I heard of this practice from former Tibetan monk. He's an American. His name is Geshe Michael Roach. He has a lot of good teachings, Asian Classics Institute, ACI. If you're interested, go to ACI. You can learn more about how he teaches the Virtues book. This is my take on it, okay? All right, so the Virtues book, what you're going to do is you're going to want to, they call it loading the book. You're going to want to draw these lines on any journal that you purchase, okay? So the left side of the book always looks the same. It's just 6 equally divided sections. The right side of the book always looks the same as well. Now, what you do on the right side of the book is you write these headings in the spaces. So the upper left is special practices. Now, special practices can be something that you've decided as part of your own faith tradition or spiritual practice that you want to commit to every day. It can be prayers, it can be the rosary, it can be, if you're a Tibetan Buddhist, you might do prostrations. It can be that you're keeping the book. Whatever special practice you feel drawn to and want to commit to, list it there, kind of like you're creating a to-do list. And you want to monitor, did I do my special practices today? Look at how much space I give for worldly to-dos. Normally that's our to-do list, right? Well, this book, this is for our spiritual evolution. It's not for our worldly to-dos. Our worldly to-dos have a little place, okay, but it's very small. Put the important stuff there, all right? So you can keep track of everything in one place. But the importance of you honing toward more beauty, truth, and goodness is not going to come from this box. I can tell you that right now. It will not come from that box. And that box has finally been relegated, is given the emphasis that it deserves. Just a little place in your life, for sure. Now, on the bottom, lower left, lower right, Rejoicables and Regrettables. Rejoicables are things that you did that you really want to pat yourself on the back for. You want to acknowledge, I did that better. Regrettables are those things that you'll think about when you do your prospective memory at night. You give that more emphasis, but you write it down, okay? Writing it down. You're getting granular now. Now, on the left side, you're going to begin to track the 10 virtues that we talked about earlier, but there's only 6 spaces, so you can only track 6 at a time. So let's say this is day 1. What you will do is you will begin to fill out in these 6 boxes, virtue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so for that day, these are the 6. And so during the day, you want to know, how did I do with correct view? Plus or minus? Was I living like my thinking, speech, and actions mattered? If you were, write it down under the plus side. If not so much, you might want to, I'm really not thinking too much about my karma, about my actions. And the same with sympathetic joy, well-wishing. There's a plus and a minus there. Keep track, keep tally. Now, when other teachers teach this, they give it certain times during the day. At 10 o'clock, I will do the upper left, and then at 12 o'clock, I'll do the upper right. And you can divide it up that way if you want to. And that's a great way to do it. Sometimes that doesn't work for people. Sometimes what I find myself doing is I wake up in the morning, I make my cup of coffee, I sit down, I've got my virtues book, and what I do is I look over the virtues that were in the last 24 hours. And so I keep track of it that way, and then I load the book for the next day. That's the way I do it. There is some flexibility on how you load and keep your virtues book, but I want to teach you how to begin monitoring so you can modify these 10 essential goodness magnifiers. This more than anything practically is going to magnify the goodness in your life. You're going to feel that. Now, let's say we turn the page the very next day. We're monitoring the first 6. Now it's day 2. We're not going to, obviously, this is going to stay the same all the time. Just want you to know. But this page is going to change. So tomorrow, we're going to start with 7 and then 8. So it'll look like this. We'll still fill it out. And then 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you start over at 1, 2. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, now I just want those of you at home, if you're confused at all, this is explained in detail in the study guide. And you can always contact me through the online forum and ask me questions about this. Okay, so now let me ask, okay? Day 3, what does it look like? What are we going to start with up here? What number? 3, that's absolutely right. And I just give you 3 examples because I want you to make sure you get the hang of this. Okay, and there you go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 and 8. And then it just keeps going on from there. And every single day, you're monitoring your virtues as the primary thing that you're doing. Your spiritual life, okay, that transcendent, ineffable, infinite, aperture to the divine, like that's the most important thing. And if you begin to orient to those spiritually transcendent values of beauty, truth, and goodness, you are going to begin to feel better, be happier, no matter what. That's the way it works.